Now, if you understand anything about the Chinese internet, these amazing numbers shouldn't surprise you, because in China, actually, the internet is bigger than TV, at least for those people who are on the internet. People who are on the internet in China spend 2 times the amount of time on the internet than they do watching TV. If you go to a young person's home, on the sofa watching TV will be the parents and the grandparents. In the corner, behind the computer, will be the young person chatting on QQ, which is like instant messaging platform application. They'll be writing on BBS. They'll be writing on blogs. They're downloading movies or TV shows. They're watching 24, or they're watching Ugly Betty from the United States, because you can download shows off the internet within 24 hours of them being shown in the United States with subtitles already, Chinese subtitles already added. The internet is the internet-connected computer is the central information and entertainment device in China for those people who have it. Now, it's primarily first and second and some third-tier cities, but the people who are connected, it's the center. Okay. Of course, I think China leads the world in the number of internet users, over 10 million daily posts on BBS. BBS is the central element of social media in China. An interesting fact, 98% of Chinese netizens have posted content, some sort of content on the internet. Okay? Whereas comparable statistics from the United States is like less than half. So as Z said, the Chinese are, the concept of social media is not new or not, not unique to China, but I think Chinese netizens use it much, much more than the West. Okay. And there's a whole culture that has developed, an online culture that has developed, that has been essentially created by netizens, by people online. And so these are all celebrities that have been created online. They're celebrities chosen by the people for the people. So you've got the most popular blogger in the world, not just China, is Xu Jinglei. And this is one of my favorite net stars. It's called Little Fatty, or Xiaopeng. Okay, Little Fatty, his teacher put this picture online. And the netizens fell in love with Little Fatty, thought he was kind of cute, kind of weird. And they PS'd him, which means photoshopped him. So you've got Little Fatty Brokeback Mountain. You've got Little Fatty Mount Rushmore. Okay. You have Little Fatty, who's often now on talk shows. If you turn on the TV, just about every week you can see Little Fatty on talk shows, being interviewed, playing different funny parts. Little Fatty now is going to be in a movie, starring in a movie filmed by New Line Cinema. The movie is based on a script coming from a net novel. A net novel is a novel which is only published online. Okay, but it became so famous that it was turned into a movie starring a net star. So if there's an internet word-of-mouth culture, that there's celebrity, there's also currency. QQ is a massive social networking ecosystem in China. It has blogs, it has BBS forums, it has instant messaging platform, it has conversation groups, it has a currency. The currency, QQ points, is so ubiquitous, so popular, that actually the People's Bank of China is watching it very closely, because it has an unofficial exchange rate now. So nowhere in the world that I'm aware of is there a virtual currency that's so dominant that the country's central bank of China is watching it very very closely. And again, I think this is an indication of how powerful this net culture is. Now, what was interesting during Chinese New Year was that this sex scandal came out. There's one star in Hong Kong, Edison Chan, and he turned his computer in to get fixed Well, when the repair shop looked at his computer, it found all kinds of interesting photos, sex photos of him and other famous Hong Kong stars. So if you've heard of the Paris Hilton sex tapes from a few years ago, this made that seem just tiny in comparison, just massive. So of course people were trying to share the pictures and posting the pictures online, and they would be quickly deleted. Then people would say, leave their email addresses online, asking people who had the pictures to send them. It became a massive scandal. But what's interesting is that there was some conversations that came out of that didn't just talk about all the sexy stuff, but they actually talked about the brands that appeared in the photos. And so, for example, here, you can see in the background of one of the photos, you see that Edison Chan, or one of the girls that Edison Chan had relations with, had a Gucci bag. So someone pulled out that picture, identified the catalog number, and also came up, figured out what the price was. Also see that Edison Chan drank this kind of tea. Okay. And so people pull that picture out and identify which kind of tea it was, where you could buy it, how much it cost. So you see that there is a net culture where people will create their own stars, and there's even a net language. Okay, but there's a net culture, but a lot of it actually revolves around brands. Okay, and I think I talked a second ago about QQ, and QQ is, as I said, it's a massive social networking ecosystem in China. And if you look at, again, as an indication of how powerful this social networking or social media is in China, you can look at the amount of revenues for Facebook in the US last year, $150 million US. In China, QQ, $520 million in revenue. Facebook lost $50 million last year. QQ made $224 million last year. Okay, so sometimes we're in China, read about, wow, Facebook might come to China, or MySpace has come to China. That they're going to kind of create this whole social media phenomena in China, or social networking phenomena. But the fact is, social networking or social media, people talking online, has been going on for years in China in massive volumes, and so it's none of this what's happening in the West. It's not new at all. People are very engaged online. They're talking to each other online. They're creating culture online that's actually impacting offline culture. So I think that's something important to understand when you look at the new media in China. Now, this is all interesting stuff, but how and why is this important to companies? Well, first of all, internet word of mouth does impact opinion and purchase behavior. Okay, 80% of netizens, before they buy products, will go online to research product or user opinion on BBS. Okay, they will find other people talking about their product, whether it's automobile or mobile phone, to see if other consumers like it or not. 62% of people will ask questions on BBS for more product information. So consumers are actually going online, not only to do a Google search, that's the first step, but actually to read other people's personal experiences with products. Okay. And here's this statistic: 58% of all purchase decisions in China are influenced by user-generated content or internet word of mouth, compared with 19% in the United States. And Z made an interesting point that Chinese netizens have a PhD in advertising. Here are some examples of advertising in China about how overwhelming it is. This is Huaihai Lu, or Huaihai Road in Shanghai. So many advertisements. Do you see the HP ad? If you do see the HP ad, are you going to remember it? And is it going to really influence your purchase decision? So much noise. You have to work very hard to stand out. Hopefully, it's a creative ad, that's witty or really funny, like some of the examples we saw. But if it's not, just force people to see it.